My name is Abigail Walsh. I'm 24, a software developer from Eugene, Oregon. Last month, I came back from a week in London, ready to crash in my own bed. But when I walked into my house, my heart stopped. My bedroom door was locked. I jiggled the handle, thinking it was a mistake. Then I saw it, a neon sign glowing through the crack, live now. My parents had turned my room into my sister's Livestream studio. My clothes, my books, everything I owned shoved into a dusty shed out back. I stormed to the kitchen where Mom was sipping coffee. "What's going on?" I demanded. She didn't even look up. "Your sister needs the space for her vlog. It's her big break." I felt my chest tighten. "Where am I supposed to sleep?" Mom pointed out the window to the shed. "Stay there or get out of this house." Her words hit like a slap. My dad just sat there silent. My sister's voice echoed from my old room, laughing into a camera. I grabbed my suitcase, walked out, and didn't look back. 6 months later, my phone lit up, 39 missed calls from my sister, and a text from Mom. "Where are you?" What happened next changed everything. Stick around to find out how I turned their betrayal into my freedom. What would you do if your parents gave your room to a sibling and kicked you out? Comment your choice below. A month before I left home for good, the cracks in our family started showing over a tense dinner in Eugene. I'd been working overtime as a software developer, saving every penny for a dream trip to London. I wanted to treat my parents, give them a break from the daily grind. As we sat around the table, the smell of roasted potatoes filling the air, I laid out my plan. "I'll cover you and Dad for a week in London," I said, my voice steady eyes on Mom and Dad. "Just the two of you, a chance to make memories." My sister's fork hit her plate with a clang. She leaned forward, her eyes sharp. "And what about me?" she snapped, tossing her hair. Her boyfriend, lounging next to her, smirked and added, "Yeah, Abigail, you're pulling in serious cash coding apps. Why cut us out?" I clenched my jaw, trying to stay calm. "You owe me $8,000, I said, staring at my sister. "I've bailed you out for your vlog equipment, your car payments, and you still haven't paid me back. I'm not your bank account." The room froze. Mom's lips pursed, and she slammed her water glass down the ice, rattling. "Abigail, that's selfish," she said, her voice low and accusing. "Your sister's building a career online. She's this close to going viral. You should be proud, not petty." Dad, usually quiet, nodded slowly. "Family sacrifices for family." He said, his tone heavy, like I'd betrayed some sacred rule. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. For years, I'd been the one covering their bills, groceries, when Dad's hours got cut, Mom's phone plan, even their internet, so my sister could upload her lifestyle vlogs, and now they were painting me as the villain. My sister crossed her arms, a smug look on her face. "You're just mad because I'm actually doing something big," she said. "Not everyone can sit behind a computer all day." Her boyfriend laughed, leaning back in his chair. "Come on, Abigail, don't be a buzzkill. Pitch in." My blood boiled. I gripped the edge of the table, my nails digging into the wood. "I'm not mad," I shot back, my voice rising. "I'm tired of being your ATM while you play influencer with my money." The argument erupted like a storm. Mom jumped in, accusing me of tearing the family apart. "You've always been jealous of her ambition," she said, pointing a finger at me. Dad shook his head, muttering about how I'd changed since I started making it big in tech. My sister piled on, claiming her vlog was the family's future and I was holding her back. Her boyfriend egged her on, tossing in jabs about how I'd never understand real hustle. I tried to explain how I'd worked nights to pay off their debts, how I'd put my own dreams on hold, but no one listened. Their voices overlapped, a wall of blame crashing over me. I felt like I was drowning in their words. I stood up my chair, scraping the floor, the sound cutting through the chaos. "I'm done," I said, my throat tight with anger. I couldn't look at them. Mom's glare, Dad's disappointment, my sister's smirk. I walked out of the dining room, my heart pounding. The next morning, I called my friends Nolan and Devin. They'd been my rock through every family fight, always ready with a couch or a coffee. "I'm going to London," I told them over the phone, my voice firm. "You guys in?" They didn't hesitate. "Hell yeah," Nolan said. "Let's make it a trip to remember," Devin chimed in. "Forget your family's drama. We've got you." I booked the tickets that day. my fingers shaking as I clicked confirm. I wasn't just planning a vacation, I was planning my escape. I rolled my suitcase up the driveway in Eugene, fresh off a week in London with Nolan and Devin. Their jokes and late-night chats had lifted my spirits, and I hoped the distance might have eased the tension from that awful family dinner. All I wanted was to collapse in my bed and code in peace. But when I reached my bedroom door, a cold jolt hit me. A new lock gleamed under the hallway light. I twisted the knob. Nothing. Faint music and laughter spilled through the crack. I hammered on the door, my pulse racing. "Who's in there?" I called out. The door swung open and my sister Alexis stood there, phone on a tripod ring, lights glowing. "What are you doing in my room, Alexis?" I snapped my voice tight. She flicked her hair, smirking. "It's my vlog studio now. Don't make a big deal." I pushed past her, my breath hitching. My bed desk posters gone. Cameras, tripods, and a neon Live Now sign had erased my space. "Where's my stuff?" I demanded. She gestured toward the backyard. "In the shed." "Relax." I stormed outside, the evening chill biting my skin. The shed door creaked as I yanked it open. My clothes, books, and laptop were shoved into damp boxes, dust clinging to my favorite sweater. My laptop, my coding lifeline, sat exposed to the damp air. Betrayal burned in my chest, sharp and unrelenting. I grabbed the sweater and marched back to the kitchen where Mom was chopping carrots. "Mom, what's this?" I held up the sweater, my voice trembling with fury. Dad, sitting at the table with his coffee, spoke first, his tone soft but firm. "Your sister's channel is taking off, Abigail. She needed the room." I blinked, stunned. "So you threw my stuff in the shed?" Her boyfriend, Tyler, stood up from the couch, pointing at me. "Don't mess with her hustle, Abigail. It's just stuff." Mom stopped chopping her eyes, narrowing. "Where am I supposed to sleep?" I asked, my voice rising. Mom pointed out the window to the shed. "Stay there or get out of this house." Her words cut deep final like a door slamming shut. As I stood there reeling, my laptop chimed with an email from a coder friend, Jake. My hands shook as I opened it. "Abigail, your app's source code is on a forum posted by your sister's vlog account. It's going viral." I froze, my vision blurring. My side project, months of work for a $50,000 contract, was now free for anyone to steal. Alexis had hacked my laptop while I was gone and leaked my code to sabotage me. I charged back to her studio, my old room. "Alexis, you stole my code!" I shouted, my voice raw. She didn't look up, tweaking her camera. "Not my fault you left your laptop open." I spun toward Dad, my eyes pleading. "You're letting her do this?" He shifted uncomfortably, muttering. "She's just trying to stand out." Mom stepped in, her voice icy. "Abigail, you're blowing this out of proportion. She's using it for her brand." My world tilted. Alexis hadn't just taken my room. She tried to destroy my career. The email from Jake kept flashing in my mind. Coders already grabbing my work. I felt like I was suffocating my family's betrayal closing in. I pulled out my phone and texted Nolan. "They've gone too far. I'm done," he replied in seconds. "My place is open. Come now." I didn't pack. I didn't look back. I walked out the front door, my steps heavy but certain. I crashed at Nolan's place. My new chapter starting on his lumpy couch. The weight of walking out on my family still pressed on me, but I felt a spark of freedom. Nolan's apartment in Eugene was small, cluttered with vinyl records and half-built circuit boards, but it was a haven. Over coffee the next morning, he slid his laptop across the table. "You need a place of your own," he said, pulling up rental listings. "Something you can afford with your coding gigs." I nodded, my mind already racing. Devin showed up an hour later, armed with a spreadsheet of apartments under $1,500 a month. "We're not letting you crash here forever." He teased, his grin, softening the jab. They sat with me scrolling through listings, narrowing it down to a one-bedroom near downtown. It had hardwood floors, a tiny balcony, and a rent of exactly $1,500. "This is it," I said, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. Nolan clapped my shoulder. "Let's go check it out." We toured the apartment that afternoon. The landlord, a gruff guy named Carl, walked us through the space. Sunlight streamed through the windows, warming the empty rooms. I could already picture my desk by the balcony, my laptop open, coding without interruption. I'll take it, I told Carl, signing the lease on the spot. Nolan and Devin helped me move in the next day, hauling thrift store furniture up the stairs. Devin joked about my wobbly bookshelf. This screams coder chic, he said, laughing as we assembled it. By nightfall, the place felt like mine, a fresh start. No trace of my sister's neon signs or my mom's ultimatums. Back at Nolan's, I'd been working on salvaging my app. Alexis's leak had spread my source code across forums, but I wasn't giving up. I rewrote chunks of it, tweaking algorithms to make it better, stronger. Late one night, I got an email from a tech startup in Portland. They'd seen my forum post defending my work and wanted a demo. I poured everything into preparing, polishing the app, practicing my pitch. The meeting was a blur of nerves and adrenaline. I walked into their sleek office, my laptop under my arm, and laid out my vision and app that streamlined project management for small businesses. The CEO, a sharp woman named Lena, leaned forward, her eyes locked on my screen. "This is impressive," she said, scribbling notes. 2 days later, they offered me a $50,000 contract to license the app. I stared at the email, my hands shaking with disbelief. "I did it," I whispered, grinning like an idiot. I called Nolan and Devin to share the news. We met at a dive bar downtown, clinking glasses of cheap beer. To Abigail, who didn't let her sister win, Devin toasted, his voice warm. Nolan raised his glass to new beginnings. I felt a rush of gratitude for them, my chosen family, who'd been there when my real one turned their backs. Back at my apartment, I set up my workspace, plugging in a second monitor I'd splurged on with the contract advance. Coding felt different now, like I was building something unstoppable. I started taking on freelance gigs, small projects that grew my portfolio. Each paycheck felt like a brick in the foundation of my new life. One evening, as I debugged code on my balcony, I realized how far I'd come. No more shed, no more stolen code. No more family drama dragging me down. I was free to focus on my career, my dreams. I opened my laptop and started sketching out a new app idea, one that could top the last. This was my life now, mine to shape. My new life was taking shape. Small businesses were adopting it. Reviews were pouring in, and my inbox was flooded with feature requests. I leaned back, the cool night air brushing my face, feeling a quiet pride. My apartment with its creaky hardwood floors was my fortress. No trace of my family's chaos. One morning, I checked my Slack channel where I collaborated with other coders. A message from a client, a startup founder named Priya, caught my eye. "Abigail, we need to talk about some rumors." My stomach tightened. Not again. I opened a link she sent leading to a tech forum thread. Anonymous posts, clearly Alexis's work, claimed my app was built on stolen code and that I'd faked my credentials. The lies were vicious, targeting my biggest clients. I could almost see Alexis smirking behind her ring lights, trying to tear me down again. I messaged Nolan and Devin in our group chat. "She's at it again," Nolan replied instantly. "We've got your back." Devin added, "Let's shut this down. We met at a coffee shop downtown." Laptops open, brainstorming. Devin, scrolling through the forum, pointed out inconsistencies in the posts. "These timestamps don't add up," he said, his voice sharp. "They're from her vlog's IP range." Nolan suggested I draft a response not defensive but transparent. I spent hours crafting a post detailing my app's development, my contract win, and screenshots of my code commits proof I'd built it from scratch. I hit send, my heart pounding, and watched the thread shift. Coders I'd never met started vouching for me, calling out the anonymous account's weak claims. Priya messaged back, "Thanks for clearing this up. We're sticking with you." Nolan and Devin weren't done. Devin reached out to a friend, Zara, who ran a tech meetup in Portland. "She wants to meet you," he said, grinning over his latte. "She's big in the startup scene." I drove to Portland the next week, nervous but ready. Zara was sharp, her energy infectious, as she introduced me to her network, founders, developers, investors. "Your app's making waves, and now, ma'am," she said, handing me her card. "Let's collaborate." I pitched ideas to her group, my confidence growing with every nod. By the end of the night, I had invites to 2 hackathons and a freelance gig offer from a fintech startup. I felt like I was finally finding my place in the industry. Back in Eugene, I kept pushing. My app hit 10,000 users, and I rolled out a new feature, a dashboard for real-time analytics that got rave reviews. Late nights coding became my rhythm, my balcony, my think tank. Alexis's rumors faded as my reputation grew, her lies drowned out by my work. One evening, Zara called, offering me a speaking slot at a tech conference. "You're the real deal, Abigail," she said. I smiled, my chest swelling with a mix of gratitude and defiance. I invited Nolan and Devin to celebrate at my place, pizza boxes scattered across my tiny table, to kicking butt. Devin toasted, raising a soda can. Nolan laughed to leaving the drama behind. I clinked my can against theirs, feeling anchored by their support. My new connections. Priya, Zara. The coders were my lifeline now, not my family. I was building something bigger than myself, and no one could take that away. 6 months had passed since I'd claimed my independence. My life in Eugene was steady. My app thriving, my network growing stronger every day. I was coding on my balcony one crisp October evening when my phone lit up with a voicemail notification. I ignored it at first, focused on debugging a new feature, but then it flashed again. 39 missed calls from Alexis. My jaw tightened. I hadn't spoken to her since she leaked my code, and I wasn't about to start now. Then a text from Mom popped up. "Where are you?" I stared at the screen, a familiar unease creeping in. Against my better judgment, I played the voicemail. Alexis's voice was frantic, almost unrecognizable. "Abigail, we're in trouble. You have to help us." I deleted it. My fingers cold, but another text from Mom followed. "Call me now." I paced my apartment, the hardwood floors creaking under my steps. Curiosity got the better of me, so I called Mom back. Her voice was strained, not the commanding tone I knew. "Your sister's in debt," she said. "Tens of thousands for vlog equipment, cameras, lights, editing software." I gripped the phone, my mind flashing to Alexis's neon-lit studio in my old room. Mom went on. "We're selling the house to cover it. Your dad's a wreck. We need you." I heard Tyler in the background, his voice loud. "Come on, Abigail, don't be cold. Family steps up." I snorted, my patience thin. "Family?" I said, my tone sharp. "You mean the ones who threw my stuff in the shed?" Mom pleaded. "Abigail, we're losing everything." I hung up my chest tight with a mix of anger and guilt. The next day I found a letter slipped under my door, handwritten by Dad. It was short, his words shaky. "We're sorry. Alexis messed up. Please help us keep the house." I sat on my couch staring at the paper. Memories of Dad's silence when Alexis stole my room, when Mom issued her ultimatum, flooded back. I crumpled the letter, my resolve hardening. I wasn't going back. I texted Nolan and Devin, needing their clarity. We met at a diner, the smell of greasy fries filling the air. "They're drowning in Alexis's mess," I said, sliding Dad's letter across the table. Nolan read it, his brow furrowed. "They made their choices," he said, handing it back. Devin nodded, sipping his soda. "You don't owe them, Abigail. You built your life without them." I drove to my old neighborhood the next week, not to help, but to see for myself. A for sale sign stood in the front yard, the house looking smaller, sadder than I remembered. Alexis was outside loading boxes into a van, her face pale. She saw me and froze. "Abigail, please." She started, her voice breaking. "I didn't mean for this." I cut her off, calling her by name to keep my distance. "Alexis, you chose this. You chose. You leaked my code, trashed my work." She looked away, her hands fidgeting. Mom stepped out, her eyes red. "We're family," she said, her voice soft but desperate. Tyler appeared, arms crossed. "Don't walk away, Abigail." I shook my head. "You walked away first." Dad stood by the door, silent again, his shoulders slumped. I got back in my car, my hands steady on the wheel. They'd made their bed, Alexis, with her reckless spending. Mom and Tyler enabling her dad, never stepping up. I wasn't their lifeline. Back at my apartment, I opened my laptop emails from clients waiting. My app was my focus, now my future. I wouldn't let their crisis pull me under. My apartment in Eugene felt like home now. I stood in my living room, running my hand over a sleek new coffee table I'd bought with my latest freelance paycheck. The space was mine, filled with a cozy couch, a sturdy desk, and bookshelves lined with coding manuals and plants. My app was soaring past 15,000 users, and I'd just landed a consulting gig with a Portland startup. Life was good, better than I'd ever imagined when I walked away from my family's chaos. One afternoon, I scrolled through a local news feed and saw a post about Alexis. Her vlog channel had crashed, demonetized after sponsors pulled out over her reckless spending scandals. The comments were brutal, calling her out for fake content and unpaid debts. I felt a flicker of pity, but it faded fast. Alexis had made her choices just as I'd made mine. I clicked away, not wanting to linger on her downfall. Later, I heard from a mutual friend that Tyler had bailed, leaving Mom and Dad to deal with the fallout. They'd moved into a cramped rental on the edge of town, a far cry from our old house. I didn't reach out. Their world was no longer mine. I threw myself into my work coding late into the night, my balcony glowing under string lights I'd hung for inspiration. My latest project, a collaboration tool for remote teams, was gaining traction with beta testers raving about its clean interface. At a tech conference in Seattle, I met a group of developers who invited me to join their open source project. We spent hours swapping ideas over coffee, their enthusiasm fueling mine. I was building a name for myself, not just as a coder, but as someone who could lead, innovate, and inspire. Every email from a client, every invite to a hackathon felt like a step towards something bigger. One evening, I sat on my couch, a mug of tea in hand, reflecting on the past year. I'd lost my family, but I'd gained so much more freedom, confidence, a community that valued me. The lesson was clear. When your family doesn't see your worth, you have to choose yourself. I thought about Alexis chasing clout at the cost of everything, and Mom and Dad enabling her until it broke them. I'd chosen a different path, one built on my own terms. I opened my laptop and started typing a script for my first YouTube video, a tell-all about my journey. I wanted to share my story, not for revenge, but to reach others who might be stuck in toxic family dynamics. If this resonates with you, I wrote my voice steady in my mind. Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about choosing ourselves. I hit record the next day, my camera set up by the balcony. The words flowed raw, honest, real. I talked about the shed, the betrayal, the code leak, and how I rebuilt my life. I ended with a call to action. Share your story below. Let's build a community that lifts each other up. I uploaded the video, my heart racing as the views ticked up. Comments poured in, strangers sharing their own struggles, thanking me for speaking out. I read them late into the night, feeling connected to something greater. This was my truth, my victory.